iPhone 15 Pro Max will soon be in the market by the Apple company right at the time of what making this video, right? So this is the information that we are having at the price of what the iPhone 15 Pro Max for people living in the USA, right? So for people living in the USA, that is 1,299 for 256 gigabytes. This is not a fixed price, so maybe if you know the correct price for this particular product here, just make sure that you help us in the comment section. But assuming this is what we are going to use to demonstrate our method here. Now, how many days do you need to save before you can have this money if you want to save on consistently, right? So the word here is consistency. You have to pay attention to that. Now this is a very simple formula that we used to use in doing the process for saving for this particular product. You don't need to memorize this formula here, right? So if you are new here, make sure that you just subscribe to the channel so that if you release any important video like this, you can get notified. Now this method here said that n divided by 2, everything multiplied by 2a plus n minus 1. And then this, we all understand that maybe some mathematics, because of the variables and numbers here, are somehow difficult in some situation, but I'm going to break everything down for you step by step to analyze. Now let's name this a here to be our first savings, right? So considering this a here to be, this a is just going to be the first savings. So assuming on the first day here, you want to have just an amount of $5. You are starting with your $5 down, right? So a here is going to be 5. Is that okay? So what about the d? So d here is going to be the difference. What I mean by the difference here is that let me explain that. So let's say in the day 1 here, day 1 you save what, $5. This is what your first starting, right? So on the day 2, since the difference here is also $5, then meaning that on the day 2 you have to add what, $5 to this one, meaning that on the day 2 you have to pay what, $10. Is that okay? Right? So that's the difference of what, 5. So on the day 3, I think you can follow the trend now. So on the day 3, adding 5 to this one, meaning that you have to save what, 15 dollars down, right? So the days here doesn't even need to be on regular basis, right? So if you are someone who doesn't receive money on a daily basis, you don't even need to worry yourself. You can jump in between, right? So maybe you just, all that matters here is that you use day 1 as for $5. Day 2 cannot even be tomorrow, right? So it's not necessarily the case that it must be tomorrow. It can be some days later depending on when you have the money. So if you have more, you can just keep on marking and so on and so forth. We will come up with a very simple Excel sheet that I will be uploading in some of our next videos. So make sure that you stay consistent. That can help you to track your savings. Okay, now this is just the simple scenario here. Since we know the a and then we know the d here, then we are left with what, another letter, which is n. So n here will give us the number of days, right? So this n here is going to be the number of days that you need to save in order to get this total amount of 1,299. So everything here is got 1,299 US dollars, right? So everything here is equal to 1,000. Now our aim here is to determine the number of days that we need to save in order to have this amount here. But how do you do that? That's also why I say you should make sure that you join us on this channel. So if you release a very simple essay that can help you to track your money using this definition, that you don't need to go through the calculation or the normal calculation, just make sure that you join us for more. Now let's see how to do this calculation manually if you wish to do that manually. Now back into the mathematics term here, that we have our a to be equal to 5, and then we also have the d also to be equal to 5. Then we are looking for the n here, which is the number of days, right? So n is exactly what we are looking for. So how do you do this calculation manually? So this is 2 here, so you are going to use the 2 to multiply everywhere. So 2 multiplied by 1,299, everything is going to be equal to 2 multiplied by n on 2, right? So 2a plus n minus 1 in brackets d here is 5, right? So let's move on down to the next step here. So this multiplied by that. After I multiply this guy, I add up 2, 5, 9, 8, right? So everything is equal to, so these two will cancel this two, so you have n, and then into bracket 2a. A here is what is 5, so we are replacing the a by 5 plus what is the n here, which we don't know, minus 1, and then multiply by the d is also what, 5, right? Okay, now let's deal with this bracket. So you have the 2, 5, 9, 8. Everything is just going to be equal to maintaining this n here. So this guy here is going to be, that should be 10. This multiplied by that should be 10 plus, you see this 5 is multiply everything that is in the bracket here. So 5 multiplied by that should be 5n. 5 multiplied by that should be minus 5, right? Is that okay? So there's one n outside here, right? So this n is multiply everything in the bracket. So you have 2, 5, 9, 8. That's equal to 10n. This 10n plus, so this multiplied by that should be 5n squared, right? So this multiplied by that is going to be minus 5. Okay. Is that okay? So what is happening? We can see some n somewhere here. So there's n here, and then there's another n here. So you need to group the items, right? So if you are not all that interested in doing all this calculation, that's also I say you should subscribe to this channel and click on that notification bell in order for you to have what our simple Excel update, in order for you to just enter the figures, and then the Excel will just do the calculation for you. Very simple. So make sure that you stay connected. Now grouping this guy and this guy here. So from here we have that should be 2, 5, 9, 8. Everything is equal to, that should be, here is going to be 5n squared, right? And then minus we have 5n here, right? So 5n here, so that's minus 5n, and then there's a plus here, so plus 10n. So you are grouping the two, so you have